Over these past few weeks, we saw a lot of sporting events take place. One of the biggest ones was the Anthony Joshua Jake Paul fight that many of you sent me questions about, asking if the fight was indeed scripted or rigged. Some people tend to think that the fight was rigged because Anthony Joshua did knock him out in the first round. Anthony Joshua being the former heavyweight champion of the world, and I think is still active as a professional fighter. I don't think he's retired yet. So this was, I think it was probably either the first or second actual active fighter that was ranked, and one of the top fighters of the sport that Jake Paul actually fought. That's what a lot of people were saying, that, oh, we think this fight could be scripted or rigged. So, here's the thing. Here's why this is important, why I'm discussing this now, because I'll tell you why I do not think the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight was rigged. And that's primarily due to it being unlawful against federal law as well as many state laws. The moment the public is allowed to make wagers and gamble on these different boxing contests, any type of match to where the public is allowed, then the federal government as well as the state government, they have an actual interest in protecting the public to ensure fairness and integrity of said matches. There's actually, the FBI has actually have a division of the FBI called the Crime and Corruption in Sports Gambling Division. And these are the people that go out and ensure that that these matches are done fairly, so when the public is betting, that there is no predetermined outcome, if you will. That the program was created to identify, combat, and disrupt the criminal activities that degrade the integrity of sport and erode public confidence in these cherished institutions. And as you can see here, some of the crimes that this organization does investigate is illegal gambling, illegal sports betting, game manipulation, that's AKA match fixing, as well as doping, contract fraud, bribery of persons and institutions, extortions, and so forth. The list is not exhaustive, but that's just some of the things that the FBI's crime and corruption in sports and gaming division actually looks into. So if that were the case, if that's the case to where, these fights are definitely something that has to be monitored if the public is allowed to actually make wagers on these matches, then they would have to be something that would have to be honest and have to be fair, and both fighters would not be able to participate in said rigging. Now, I noticed the law. I know this is the codified federal statute. In fact, several states have a similar statute where they investigate the same thing. And while I am aware that we have laws and people still break these laws, I personally don't think that the Anthony Joshua Jake Paul fight was rigged, primarily due to this actual federal law, and primarily due to where, I just think that me personally, as an avid fan of boxing, to where Jake Paul was just not on the level of somewhat of an Anthony Joshua, who had been heavyweight champion in several previous matches, and he's just an all-around one of the top fighters in the sport. And this fight also took place in Florida, in Miami to be exact. If you look at the federal law, right? The federal law, here's the actual law of the Penal Code for bribery in sports contests. And as you can see here, in subsection A, whoever carries into effect, attempts to carry into effect, or conspires with another person to carry into effect, into any effect, any scheme, in commerce to influence in any way by bribery any sporting contest with the knowledge that the purpose of such scheme is to influence by bribery that contest shall be fined under this section or in prison not more than or not more than 5 years or both. And that's your federal statute. Now this fight took place in Miami, Florida. So if you look at the Florida statute in conjunction with this federal statute, as you can see here, the Florida statute, it clearly states 548, sham or collusive contests are prohibited, and subsection 1 clearly states that no person shall knowingly conduct or participate in or be connected with a match which is represented to be a contest if one or both of the participants does not use his or her best efforts and skills and does not strive earnestly to win. If the results thereof have been prearranged, or if either participant does not use or is prevented from using his or her best efforts and skill as a result of the coercion, bribery, duress, threats, reward, or promises thereof, physical incapacity or disability, suggestion of agreement, and or any other improper or unlawful means. And it says here that in subsection 3, it is prohibited, and the violation is a result of a misdemeanor. In California, we have a similar statute. In California, same thing. In California, you see the code here, and as you can see at the very bottom, it is a felony. It is a felony to do this in California. Now, so you have all these federal and state laws that are looking to this. I personally don't believe the fact match was fixed. Like I said earlier, because of these federal laws, and the public was allowed to make wagers on this actual match. So once the public gets involved, then the federal government and state government, they have an interest in protecting said public. So I don't think that that's what happened. And I also just think that, like I said, Anthony Joshua was just a much, much better fighter. And looks like Jake Paul is being reported that he has a broken jaw in 2 places. So, yeah. Anyway, you let me know what you think, because a lot of people hit me up saying that this was, they think this was rigged. But now that you have the foregoing, now that you have the knowledge of the law, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this was scripted? Did you enjoy the fight? Whatever. I would love to hear your thoughts. Put it in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It's your brother, Attorney Jeff.